So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of water, whatever you need. We're going to start in about a minute and a half. And I want us to make sure that any sounds are off, anything that might be distracting to you. We're only going to have half an hour together. Let's make it count. So if you have any email alerts that go off, maybe shut down your email. Think about anything else, any cell phone alerts that you might want to turn off. We want to make sure that you're really present and you deserve it. So do it as a gift to yourself. And then last, please make sure that you see where the chat feature is, because you're going to type in your questions, comments, whatever's into chat. Okay, good. So let's go. Any other housekeeping before we start? I think that's good. Everybody, I'm sure you can hear and see, and if you can't, type into chat and we'll see what we can do to help out. So we all have 100 billion neurons available in our awesome brains. And yet many of you have heard that 5 to 10 to 15% are available. So how is it that we tap so little of the potential of our brains? We're going to learn about that today. As leaders, we are expected to show up for people at entirely new levels. We are expected to see into our blind spots and to shift our reality, but also to support others in shifting their reality when they're stuck. So it's important that we have the latest tools, we understand the latest research, so we can really show up for people in profound and beautiful and transformative ways. So today we're going to learn 2 tools to do so, super easy tools. You don't need any extra goodies to do these tools. And also what we're going to do is we are going to offer you an invitation to deepen or expand your practice at our Beyond Your Brain retreat, which is in September 12 to 15. And I think that's it. So elephants can hear and make many sounds that humans cannot hear. Bees can see many colors that humans cannot see. And birds, we're now learning from avian research that birds can feel and sense the magnetic field of the earth, which is how they know when and where to migrate. So what does this mean? There are all these things that we don't see, that we don't hear, that we don't feel. So how interesting that they're actually happening even though we're not aware of them. So the secret, in my experience, is to expand our awareness so that we can hear, listen, receive all sorts of additional information that most of us never actually get access to. So let's get started. I'm Comaford, and for those of you who haven't worked with me before, I'm a leadership and culture coach. We use neuroscience because we find it's the most effective way to coach people, and we get the fastest change, the fastest behavior change, the fastest culture change, and the fastest growth. It helps us see into our blind spots. I think what's most important is I've built and sold 5 of my own companies, so I am operational. I'm not theoretical. Separate, kind of the personal bio and why we're together on this webinar today is I was 7 years as a Buddhist monk, 23 years. I continue to study indigenous wisdom. We're going to learn some super basic techniques, but this is just a feeling for what my background is and why I'm qualified to lead the retreat we'll be telling you about, but also lead this call. Okay. So my job today is to help you stand in who you truly are. You are so much more awesome than you realize. So we're going to learn some tools that will help you tap that. So we want to increase our inner peace, regardless of what's happening outside. We want to be able to be peaceful inside, right? We want to be able to expand our capacity, our ability to lead others, lead individuals, lead teams, help them become more engaged, more productive, more accountable, move through whatever their challenges are so they don't get stuck. We want to increase our level of fun, right? Stress is a choice. I want to stress that. Stress is a choice. You're going to learn two tools today to turn that stress off. And also, let's just experience some more joy, okay? Just because our intellects like to hear some factoids, Harvard found that meditation, which you're going to do in just a couple minutes, rebuilds the brain's gray matter in just 8 weeks. Now, Harvard also found that 8 weeks of mindfulness-based stress reduction increases the cortical thickness in the hippocampus, which governs learning and memory. So that means we have stronger learning ability, stronger memory, greater retention, increases the thickness of the prefrontal cortex and the cell density in the prefrontal cortex, stronger vision, stronger planning, stronger problem solving, stronger ability to regulate our emotions. Well, I'm feeling really grumpy, so maybe I won't send that flame email. Okay, that's regulation. Thank you to our prefrontal cortex. Decreased cell density in our amygdala, which is where we have that trigger response to aggressiveness, to fear, to anxiety, and what really gets lit up in stress. So all this stuff works. I am 56 years old, almost 57. I started meditating when I was 17 years old, daily meditation practice when I was 17 years old. I cannot tell you what a difference it made. And I did take 7 years off, and my life was definitely not as good during those 7 years, so it is good to be back. We want to also notice that we decrease, Yale found that we decrease that monkey mind from meditation. And the monkey mind is the constant jabbering. I don't know if I've told you guys this stat before, but NSA.gov, as well as Wayne Dyer in his research, found that the average human has 60,000 thoughts per day that are 90% repetitive. Whoa, doggies. We don't need to keep thinking, go to the grocery store, go to the grocery store, go to the grocery store, right? Put that in your phone, let it remind you, clear your beautiful mind. Because when we have all those repetitive, silly, nonsense, non-value added thoughts, there's no room for this good stuff to come in. So in just a sec, we're going to show you the techniques that will help you get, this is the outcome, some of the outcomes that our clients have found when they've attended our Beyond Your Brain retreat, where we learn to really get still, really start to listen to the world of nature, really start to listen to our higher selves, whatever you want to call it, whatever your version of God is. When we get still, we can actually hear the universe speak to us, which is super helpful. That's what intuition is. That's when you just know to pursue this path versus that path. You can't hear that when you have constant noise, okay? So developing new roles, figuring out key decisions. The before, for instance, helping your team be emotionally engaged. Our client before, it was taking 27 months to try to get through that, and they weren't moving the needle. 6 months after they learned these techniques. So I want us to start to look at the practical application of when you change, your world around you changes because you show up differently, right? Practice number 1, conscious breath. Please join me in this. Super easy. You get to choose one of 2 techniques, okay? The first one, all we're doing is breathing in through our nose, breathing out through our mouth. In through your nose, please join me, out through your mouth. If you're noticing that your mind is jabbering, here are 2 words that I want you to say, thanks to Thich Nhat Hanh. On the way in, here. On the way out, now. So just inside, say here on the in, and now on the out. So you can do here, now, which helps us get present. Option number 2 is you can just see the breath coming in. See that silver thread, if you will, of the breath coming in, and then see that silver thread of the breath going out. Just take a couple minutes, either with here now or with just watching the breath come in, watching the breath go out. I want you to do the in-breath on the nose, the out-breath on the mouth, because they regulate different systems in your body. Rest and digest is the nose. Fight, flight, freeze is the mouth. Parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous systems. When we use both, in through the nose, out through the mouth, we are resetting our parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. This is why you feel so good and so chill. When you do this, you're resetting your nervous system. Okay, just do it for another couple moments and just notice. You don't have to have your mouth open. You can just send the air out of your mouth. Notice how you feel. Notice what it feels like to breathe consciously. Good. Okay. As we work to expand our awareness, our personal power, our inner stillness, we start to understand energy. We start to feel energy. We start to notice the energy around our body, the energy of others. We start to notice the energy of nature. We start to then be able to choose what energy we let into our body and what energy is not okay to come into our body. We start to have the ability to regulate the magnetic field around our body. So when we're tired, we can shut things out and heal. And then when we're energized, we don't cross over into that too hyper, and burn a bunch of energy. So notice how you're feeling right now. Okay? Be present with that. And let's just take a couple of questions. We've got a bunch that are flying in. You can send your questions to everybody, or you can just direct them to me. Let's take a couple, keep doing your breathing, and feel the difference there. All right, here's a question from Susan. And she says, wow, even in the brief amount of time that we practiced this, I felt empty pauses. Good. Excellent, Susan. In your experience, is it beneficial to do this a few times during the workday, maybe between busy meetings? The answer is yes. It is awesome. What we just did here, now, we're just following the line of breath and watching that line, that silver thread, and then watching it go out. Doing that just a couple of minutes in between meetings, whatever, is awesome. Again, we're resetting our nervous system. Teach your teams to do that too. There's nothing like just getting grounded and present in your breath. So yes, great. Okay, here's Peter. Okay, Peter wants to know, I know I need to be more mindful, but the term is confusing to me. I don't know where to begin, and I don't have the attention span to stick with one thing for very long. How can I find something that works? Will this be covered at the retreat? So I want everybody to know, I started with 5 minutes. 5 minutes of meditation every morning. That's all I did. And after 5 minutes, I then added 1 minute per week. Don't make it something big and hard, or it won't happen. All right, 5 minutes is good. We're going to send you some stillness practices after this. You can pick whichever one is your favorite. Again, you're going to learn 2 today. You just got that one. Notice how easy that one was. And also, yes, at our retreat, September 12th to 15th, it starts the night of the 12th and then goes 13, 14, and ends halfway through Sunday the 15th. Okay? Good. So let's see. What else would be helpful? Let's take one more. Margaret is saying, I had no idea that there are confirmed tangible things that happen in the brain when people meditate. I have to admit, I was skeptical about meditation and having a connection to my work or having any benefits. I'm excited to learn more. Okay, Margaret, let's do this. Good. Okay, yeah, thanks, Sherry. Sherry is saying that she has a heart math device. I am familiar with the heart math research. Is his name Roland McCready? I think it is. I spent some time with him. And what's interesting about the heart math research is that it actually maps the magnetic field of individuals and the magnetic field of the earth. And once we understand that our magnetic field is actually affected by others, we can start to shift our field. I don't have a heart math device, but I just have their research that I've enjoyed using. So let's go on and let's do our next one, heart opening. This one, I have to say, is really helpful when you're feeling a little grumpy, okay? And guys, keep typing questions in. And what's cool about heart opening is that, and if anybody is unmuted, everybody should be muted because we're getting some feedback. Heart opening is just about picture a rose in the center of your heart. This is great when you're grumpy or when you're feeling a little irritated or a little short with people. Just take a couple minutes, seriously, 2 minutes to 5 minutes. You can just set a timer on your phone, and all you're going to do is you are going to picture, here I'll stand up a little bit, you're going to picture a rose, whatever color you want, picture a rose in the center of your heart. And if you're not sure where your heart chakra is, we all have 7 chakras that run up and down our spine. More about that when we do our retreat September 12th through 15th. For now, if you just say me, you'll notice if you say me 3 times and you point to your chest, you're pointing to your heart chakra. How cool is that? Just say me and just notice where you point. You're going to point to the same area. It's super cool. So picture a rose, whatever color you want, and it's going to be gradually opening. So those petals are just gradually opening, and it's just going to keep opening. All you're doing is focusing on that rose in the center of your heart, and it's just opening. Please do this along with me. Just watching those petals open. Take a couple of moments to notice how good that feels. And you might start to feel some energy in your palms. A lot of people start to feel energy tingling in their hands or energy tingling on the bottom of your feet, or you might feel it tingling in the center of your chest and your heart chakra. And again, if this one doesn't work for you, go back to the in through the nose, out through the mouth. All I want is you to feel what it feels like to be you. That's what it feels like to be you. Okay? As we spend continued time, which is why our clients find that the weekend retreat helps, as we get a big dose of continuous time learning what it feels like to be us, you can't unlearn that. Once you've got that, you've got it, okay? So when we learn how everything is connected, how we are connected to the magnetic field of the earth, how we are connected to nature, how we're all in one big collaboration, we get a much clearer understanding of our purpose and our role. And also we get this peace and this happiness and this feeling of connection, which I find so many people are hungry for these days with all the digital confusion and digital distraction that we have. Keep feeling that. We're going to answer a couple more questions. This one's from Stan. I have so much on my plate. I barely have time to get everything done, and I often find myself falling short. I feel like I'm giving everything I have. How can I possibly create time, energy, space to use the methods we're talking about? Will creating stillness really make a positive difference in my performance? Yes. Every company idea I've had, of the 7 companies I've created, 5 sold or taken public, 2 still working on now. Every company idea I've had has come from the stillness. Every big challenge I've had in my life, when I've brought it to the stillness, I've gotten the answer. Getting still, even seriously for 5 minutes per day, will make a difference. Now remember, Harvard's research, Yale's research, it also changes your brain. reduces the aggressiveness, increases the learning and memory, increases the vision, which I just referred to with the company's ideas, increases the vision, increases the ability to see clearly and navigate situations. So Stan, seriously, just try it for 5 minutes a day, okay? Remember, it does take 8 weeks for the physiological changes to occur. Okay, Jim, I feel like I'm having massive success in my professional career, but I'm floating in my personal life. I'm scared that I won't be able to create success in both areas of my life. That's a big one, Jim. Thank you for sharing that. That I don't have enough energy. How could this retreat or these practices that you're discussing this webinar create something that is positive and tangible in my life? Okay, Jim, it is really easy to get sucked totally into work. I totally get that. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we make the time to, and again, 5 minutes per day is totally okay. We want to make the time to level set. What you might want to do is 5 minutes in the morning just to level set, just to set the intention for your day and start from a foundation of stillness. Then, as Susan was asking earlier, if you need to just do 1 or 2 minutes throughout the day of the in through the nose, out through the mouth, here, now, so that we're actually present, paying attention, you could do 5 minutes at night. I can promise you, every client that has come to our retreat that has learned these techniques, once you have the deep immersion for a weekend, you feel the transformation so much that you don't go back. Like for me with exercise, I had to do deep immersion in exercise and get a trainer and have a schedule, and now I miss exercise for more than 2 days, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to exercise. I love it now. And it took me a deep immersion to forge that neural pathway. It's called myelination. We're not going to go into what's actually happening in your brain, but when you forge that neural pathway and it feels good, the human organism will always move to the behavior that feels good. So as we help meditation, stillness feel good, we will gravitate to that behavior, which is cool. You'll find yourself start to get really still in challenging situations because you'll fire off that neural pathway that has now been forged for stillness. Very cool. Okay, please do try it. Just even give it 2 weeks even. So here's what we're going to do September 12th through 15th. As I mentioned, it starts Thursday night with dinner at 6. We go all Friday, we go all Saturday, we end at lunch on Sunday. We learn how to clear our energy body. This is one of the reasons that we can't stop our thoughts. Our energy body is crowded. Oh, thanks, Stephanie. I'm going to share your question in a sec. We can create positive results for those around us when we're clear. It's like taking an energetic shower, and we really need to do it with all the stuff bombarding us every day. Relationships, developing rich relationships with the world of nature, with understanding kind of our connection to nature, purpose, understanding why we're here and what our purpose is, and that is a very individual, personal thing. And then tools, and then of course meeting cool people. So it's a small group. We have 7 spots in this particular retreat. You're going to be making all sorts of cool things. We're going to be walking the labyrinths. You're going to be experiencing ancient wisdom from the Native Americans, from Peruvian shamanism. You're going to be learning the ways that our ancestors used to use to connect to the earth and to remind us who we are before we got all digitally distracted. You're going to learn how the elements work. You're going to have a very cool sound journey that will kind of transform your experience of moving through the magnetic field and the quantum field. So this is an experience for people who actually want to understand who they are, to get to know who they are more deeply, to connect to themselves and nature more deeply, to be able to call in that inner peace and understand their inner power, really understand who you are. This is not for somebody who is going through a huge life crisis and wants to find a quick fix. This is for somebody who wants to really step into who they are and stand in that and bring that to their beautiful families, etc. Okay, a couple quick questions. Stephanie, do you think these techniques are effective doing before going to sleep, or are they more for increased focus throughout the day? Thank you, Stephanie. 2 things. Remember the energetic shower I mentioned. End of the day is great. Get your shower. Okay, just get still for a couple of minutes, clear your energy. So end of the day is great. You can just do this lying in bed, right? Lying in bed before you go to sleep or as you're falling asleep. Here now, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You could even just follow that silver thread. So do it right before you go to bed. That's a great idea. Or right in bed, lying down, fine. I find it's terrific to start the day with 5 minutes, or I do more, but I do about 45. But to start the day with absolute stillness. So I would say start the day like end cap. Start the day with absolute stillness, end the day with absolute stillness. Sherry, I really want to attend. How much is it? So let's go to, okay. Whoops. So it's a package. Okay, so you get the weekend, you get your lodging, you get all your food, right? So the whole thing is $4,000. And we take deposits on the website. You'll see smarttribesinstitute.com/STI retreat. You can put a deposit of $1,500 now, or you can pay in full now. It's up to you. But here's the thing that's important. If you're going to come, be here. I get that at night people want to, check in during dinner time and call their families, and that's great. But don't bring any work with you. Make this a gift to yourself. Invest in yourself in this weekend. It's really important. We've had people come all the way from Latin America to attend this retreat. Mostly Canada, mostly it's U.S. But here's the thing. This is something that you do for you. This is something that you feel called to do because you're ready to step into a greater experience of yourself. Okay? When you put your deposit down, we will send you a series of questions. It's about 10 questions. We want you to answer these questions to see if you're going to fit well with the team of people, because we want to have a group of people that are aligned with each other. This also helps us understand if somebody is truly ready for this or not, okay? Because we do create a sacred space, right? Good. So let's see, a couple more quick things. We had some questions that were sent in. Okay, Michael, I have so many things going on. I really think this retreat sounds great. How can I possibly pull myself away from work and family for an entire weekend? I get it. I've never done anything like this, and I'm hesitant to make this commitment. What would you suggest? Here's the thing, Michael. The family will be there. The work will be there. The to-do list will always be there. Have you guys noticed that there's an infinite amount of work? And good work is rewarded with more work. There's an infinite amount of work. All the buzz, all the news, all the craziness will always be there. But you will either meet that family, craziness, work, busyness as you are right now, and if that's working, don't come. But if you're thinking, I'd like to meet and interact with the world and my loved ones and my colleagues and my work and my play in a new, more expanded way. If that's how you feel, then this is for you. But if everything's totally working and you kind of like all the chaos, continue with the chaos. Seriously. Because when you come to this weekend, you will expand and you will see life in a more rich, fulfilling way. You will be a nicer person. You will be a more loving person. You will have more insights. You will absolutely, positively, if you've seen all these quotes going by, have more insights and see more deeply into the nature of things. Because you will be waking up the part of your brain that is more sensitive, like the elephants that hear more noises and make more noises, like the bees that see more colors, like the birds that feel the magnetic field. You'll actually, when you walk out in the world, you'll feel nature. You'll actually interact with it and feel it. So I just want to see if this is where you want to be. This is just an invitation, okay? So any final questions? Thanks for all the comments coming through. So I want you to understand energy. I want you to feel how it moves. You'll actually feel how it moves. Some people see it move, some people don't. Don't judge yourself. It's just whatever. But you will absolutely, tangibly, palpably feel it. Okay? You will feel your interactions with nature. You will understand the nature of the different elements and how to use and work with the elements in your workplace. When do you need to work with wind? When do you need to work with earth to get more grounded and solid if you're getting a little crazy and moving too fast? You will start to understand how to manifest. You will create a Peruvian mesa, which will be a mirror of you and your connection with the natural world. We're just going to return to the earth like our ancestors did a long time ago and use ancient wisdom to be here now. So if this is for you, let us know, okay? You can reserve your spot at smarttribesinstitute.com/STI retreat. It's case insensitive if you don't want to type in caps. And if you want also, if you have specific individual personal questions, you can reach out to Alexis at smarttribesinstitute.com, or you can give her a buzz, right? Thank you. Oh, Beth, thank you. Oh, thanks, Beth. That was a nice comment. Thank you. So thank you for the opportunity to be of service to you guys today, right? We'll send out the recording. We'll send the tools that we promised you. And enjoy being you, because there's only one of you. And getting to know what you feel like is awesome. And as Joseph Campbell said, the whole point is to find out who you are. So let's do that. Right, you guys. Thanks so much for your time today. Have a great day.